Hello. I hate washing my hair because all my hair falls out, and you just get like pounds of loose hair. Then it's all over me. Hello, friends. I'm going to share this link on Instagram real quick. Share, copy link. Post onto Instagram. Alrighty. So I am in the middle of 2 books, but my first priority is going to be finishing Migrations. I have been reading this for so long. It's so good. I just haven't finished it yet, but I can't really tell, but I have that much left. So I think I can finish it on stream tonight. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I am, yeah, I've got my big water here. I'm cozy on the floor. And yeah, I'm going to set probably a 30-minute timer to start the sprints and go from there. I'm not sure how long I'll be on tonight. I just felt like sprinting tonight, getting some reading done, hanging out on YouTube. But yeah, that's what's going on. Let me know what you're reading or doing, whatever you're doing during the sprint. Let me get this timer set up. Nope, not how I want it. There we go. There we go. All right, cool, Kayla. Reading Deadline by Mira Grant. I have not heard of that. You'll have to let me know how it is. I'm going to start this timer and get reading. Hi, Christy. Christy's cutting up chip bags, probably for a craft because she's so crafty and creative. But I'm going to set... Oh, another zombie book. Cool. I really need to get into the zombie books. Like, your video made me really curious. But I'm going to start this timer and I will chat with you guys in about 30 minutes. Let me mute myself too. Hello, everybody. So that sprint I read, I didn't even look at when I started, to be honest with you. So I should probably look. I started on page 160 and I got to page 199. So Kayla left us. Anya joined us. Anya said, I am currently reading The Devouring Light by Kat Ellis, which is a book that I don't remember adding to my Goodreads want to read, but I guess I did, so I downloaded it on Libby, but I just started it. I do that all the time. I look at my want to read on Goodreads and I'm like, there's so many books on there. Like, I just see a book that kind of looks interesting and I add it, and I need to be a little bit stricter with that. It's YA horror. Very nice. Very, very nice. I think I'll be able to finish this book in the next sprint. I have on page 199, and there is... Ooh, I probably won't be able to. I'll get close, though. There are 254 pages. So I have about 55, 56 pages left to read. Horror isn't a typical genre I usually enjoy, so I'm confused by my past self. I love horror. I love it so much. One of my favorite genres. Christy is reading Silence of the Lambs. It wasn't that your blind date with a book from the library, Christy? And Anya asked, what are you reading? I am reading Migrations by Charlotte McConaughey. I read Wild Dark Shore by her earlier this year in January or February, and I gave it 5 stars. So I saw this at the bookstore and picked it up, and I'm probably going to give it 4 stars. I'm like almost done with it, so I can kind of get that vibe. I don't think I can bump it up to a 5-star. Like, nothing would really get me to a 5-star, but depending on the ending, it could go to like a 3.5. But I love ice water. I didn't know Silence of the Lambs was originally a book. It was your library blind date. Okay. And have I seen the movie? I've seen parts of the movie. I haven't seen the whole movie. I've just seen certain scenes. But I want to watch it. I want to watch more of the classic horrors. I haven't seen like Halloween or Friday the 13th. I haven't seen any of the classics, which I call myself a horror fan, but I haven't seen any of the classics. So this book is kind of dragging at the end, but I still have loved it so much. So I think it's going to remain 4 stars, but because I would feel bad giving this less than a 4-star, but like, I have to be honest, you know? I saw half of it with your dad, lol. Where? Where were y'all watching that? I don't enjoy horror movies, so I haven't seen any of the classics, but I kind of want to branch out and watch children's horror movies. That could be interesting. I think horror is such an interesting genre, and I actually talked about this in my video today. So much of horror, people, at least in my experience, is centered in grief and like loss, and I think that's a really relatable thing for so many people. So horror is like really interesting to me. I've seen Coraline and Wendell and Wild. I have seen Coraline. I love Coraline. That water made me burp. I love Coraline, and that movie still kind of freaks me out. It's a little creepy, but I love that. That's the good thing. In Florida, when we went to Disney, everyone else left, and I was stuck watching The Silence of the Lambs. LOL. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Christy. Sorry that happened to you. I really want to finish Migrations tonight. Like, that would make me very, very happy. Horror as a book genre is something that I read sometimes, but my taste is so picky that I only often read horror books by authors I know. That makes sense. I'm not picky with it. I'm posting a video the day before Halloween about my favorite queer horror books. That's awesome. I'll look forward to it. And what's your favorite song on Life of a Showgirl? Ooh, that's hard. That's hard. That's hard. I really like Honey. Um, that was not one of my favorites on the first listen, but as I've listened to the album more and more, I really like Honey. Um, what else? I always am singing Fate of Ophelia. So I guess I'd count that as a favorite too. My least favorite is Eldest Daughter. I think it has a really good bridge, but the bridge does not fit the rest of the song. Like, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to get back to my reading. We're going to do at least one more 30-minute sprint. And I think I've heard the most about Eldest Daughter and Fate of Ophelia and whatever song she says girl boss in. Oh gosh. I don't know. I can't think of the top of my head which song that is, but yeah. Eldest Daughter. Eldest Daughter was a letdown for me. I just finished a book with a character named Ophelia. Nice. I have a friend who wrote a book called Ophelia After All, and it's a YA contemporary romance, queer romance. And yeah, you should check it out if you like YA romance. See, Anya knows what I'm talking about. Ophelia After All by Raquel Marie. Check it out. Very good. I love that you consider yourself friends with Raquel Marie. She is so talented. I get like I feel like in 2017, maybe I would have better said we were friends. Now we're just more mutuals, I guess. But I like to think of her as a friend. Like we comment on each other's social medias and stuff. So I don't know. But she's cool. I really like her and I like her books. It was a long time coming by Megan Quinn. It's been a long time coming, but it's you and me. That's my whole world. Sorry, I'm a Taylor Swift fan. You can't say these things around me. I actually really like Megan Quinn. I read what was her Christmas release last year? It was like the one where it had like the the Grinch hand holding like the ornament. I can't remember what it was called. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I read that and I gave it 5 stars, maybe 4 or 5 stars. IDNF their debut. I get it. It's not everyone is definitely for me. Who wrote? Oh, I'm thinking of Christina Lauren too. But did Megan Quinn even write that book I'm thinking of, or am I thinking of Christina Lauren? I think it's Megan Quinn. Let's look on Goodreads. Megan Quinn. Megan Quinn. Did I spell her name wrong? Yes, I did. Megan Quinn. How My Neighbor Stole Christmas last year by Megan Quinn. That is a cute book. Jake started glaring at the phone when you started singing T Swift, lol. You know, that's just my job to bother my brother. I love it when people that discover Christina Lauren is actually 2 people. Oh, I know. I think I discovered that this year actually, or maybe last year when I read On Honeymooners. It hasn't been that long that I've known. I am going to crack open this book. Hello, Liv. Hello. Everybody say hi, Liv. We love Liv here. Liv is an Australian. And she's so cute and you should check out our videos. So, period. We're actually about to start another sprint. So I knew because Haley and Bookland mentioned it, but I don't read their books, so it wasn't like a shock to me. Yeah, I get that. See, we got a high live. Oh, we got another one. Hello. Okay. I am going to start another 30-minute timer. If you oh, what did Anya say? I just realized the only Australian author I know is Jessica Townsend. I didn't even know she was Australian. I only really know Australian authors through my Australian friends. Like I watch Liv and Sash, and who else do I watch? Oh, Ren. I learn about Australian authors through those people. So, uh, but yeah, I can't think of any off the top of my head. But I'm gonna start a 30-minute timer. If you leave during this sprint, thank you so much for stopping by and saying hello. Yes, I feel like I should do a vlog and like do different countries or continents. Maybe would be easier. But I would love to read some Australian fiction. I may have to reach out to my Aussie friends and ask about recommendations. Yeah, I don't follow a ton of authors either. I follow mostly like Bookstagram people. If I follow bookish pages, it's Bookstagrammers, not really authors as much, but you never know. Okay, I actually am going to start the timer now. I'm sorry I keep yapping. But if you leave during this sprint, thanks for stopping on by and saying hello. I am reading Migrations. I'm hopefully going to be finishing it tonight. I have 56 pages left, and yeah, we're going to power through. It's looking like a 4-star. And then my backup is One Dark Window on my Kindle. So, and I also have Twilight back here if I really want to read Twilight. But that's where we're at. So I'm going to start the timer, and I'll see you if you're still here in 30 minutes. Y'all, I am at a juicy part in this book. I have 20 pages left, and now the timer goes off. How did y'all do in that sprint? I read 40 pages. I've discovered why I added the devouring light to my want to read. It's queer. Okay, I got you. I got you. I went back to folding chip bags. I thought you were cutting chip bags initially, or am I crazy? Gotcha. You went from cutting to folding. I'm definitely going to finish this book tonight. I only have that much left, like 20-ish pages, which I'm really excited for because I've been wanting to finish this for like 2 weeks now. So that's always good. And then I'm really torn if I want to start Twilight or if I want to work on One Dark Window. I'm torn. Anya is going to finish her book tonight as well. I was planning on editing the subtitles on my YouTube videos tonight. That's smart. Twilight for the memes. So true. So true. I was watching Twilight with my mom the other day and we were just like roasting it. Like we're Twihards. Like Jake, my brother, can attest that our mom loves Twilight and took us to the movies and stuff. At least took me to the movies. I don't remember if Jake went, but we just sat there the other day just like roasting Twilight. It's so funny. I haven't read One Dark Window yet, but I don't know if it's my vibe. Anya, I'm only one chapter in and I'm not sure if it's my vibe either. I've heard it's so good and that it's, really good fantasy. I like the writing so far. I've never read any Rachel Gillig before. She also wrote The Night and the Moth, but I haven't. A bookstagram friend, Mackenzie, inspired me told me to pick up One Dark Window. So Jake is a twihard too. I don't know if I believe that. So from what I gather so far, it's about our main character who is, I think she's 20 or 21. And in this society, you can, as a child, get this virus or sickness, and it can give you magic. And if you have magic, you're killed. And so there's like these guards that go around and make sure that people aren't using magic, and it turns the blood in your veins black. And our main character got the sickness, and she was one of the people to get magic, but she was hidden away. And this is all in the first chapter. This is just what I've gotten from the first chapter. But and she's like hiding her magic, and her dad's like on the committee of like catching people with magic and stuff. And then from the sickness, she got this voice in her head she calls the nightmare, and it like is this man's voice that like tells her creepy things. That's all I've gotten so far. Yesterday, Jake asked to watch Twilight. He secretly loves it. It's so good, though. It's so good. It's so bad, but it's so good. So I can't blame him. Yeah, Christy, the book is called One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. Honestly, Anya, I don't know. I haven't heard anything specific about it. Sorry, the water went down the wrong pipe. I haven't heard anything specific about the representation in One Dark Window, but it went crazy on Book Talk. That's all I'm saying. So I don't have no clue. I literally just picked it up because somebody told me to. Hello, Liv. How are you today? I think I may do one more sprint, probably for 20 minutes this time. Whenever we start the sprints, because I'm just not feeling a full 30-minute one again. If it went crazy on Book Talk, I have a feeling that it isn't diverse, but it could still be good. It's, that's facts. That's facts. I'm good just having a lazy Sunday. Nice. It is Saturday night here. It is 10:23 p.m. And yeah, I have church in the morning, so I should probably go to bed relatively soon. But 20 minutes for my 20 pages left. Yes. This part in this book that I'm at, y'all, this book, it's killing me. Anya says, I'm new to Book Talk and I don't know what's really popular. Okay, so here's the thing. I've actually deleted, well, my account's still there, but I don't have it on my phone. Book Talk, it was too much for me, like way too much. And yeah, just Book Talk was too much for me. So I'm sticking to BookTube and Bookstagram. What is Migrations about? I forgot to ask. Okay, so this book here, Migrations, is about our main character, Franny. And Franny, this Charlotte McConaughey, the author. Oh my gosh, I just closed the book. We love that. How far was I? Okay. Hold on, give me 1 second. Okay, I found my page. I'm trying to close the book. Okay. So it follows our main character, Franny, and Franny is living at a point in time on the earth that Charlotte McConaughey writes climate fiction. I've just been introduced to it through her, but basically it is where climate change has affected the world, in which in this society, in this version of our world, the animals are almost all extinct. Like there's no bears, there's no wolves, there's no lizards. They talk about how domesticated animals have stayed alive and farm animals have stayed alive because they impact humans, but other animals that are meant to be wild have pretty much all gone extinct. And Franny loves birds because her husband was an ornithologist, or like he is an ornithologist at this university, and she fell in love with birds because she fell in love with him, and pretty much birds are all extinct. But at the beginning of the novel, she's really struggling mentally. We don't really know what's going on with her, but she's alone, and she convinces this boat to take her out and follow these birds that she has put trackers on. And she is following them on their last migration before they go extinct. It is believed that once these birds go on this migration to Antarctica, I believe that they will be going extinct. There will be no more of them. And it's her journey on this boat and all the crew members on the boat and all their complex relationships. And then we keep getting these random flashbacks of Franny's time as a girl and then as a young woman. And we're trying to piece together where her trauma comes in and what her trauma is. So overall, it's been really good so far, and very emotional. And I just read a very emotional part, and that's what I just stopped at when that sprint ended. But it's a really good book, and I really like climate fiction. Another example of climate fiction would be The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. That is climate fiction as well. A different That's more of like a sci-fi climate fiction. But Charlotte McConaughey, her other book, Wild Dark Shore, that I read and gave 5 stars, that's also climate fiction. In that one, a family is protecting the seed bank for the world, where basically they keep seeds in case we need to start over with farming. So yeah, it's a really good book so far, though. I wouldn't recommend it like broadly though. It's kind of slow and melancholy, but I really enjoy those kind of books. So I joined Book Talk in the hopes of guiding a new audience to my booktube channel, but I don't know if that goal will pan out because Book Talk is more for people with a shorter attention span. I think if you can hear my husband yelling, I'm sorry. I think it's kind of tough because I felt the same. Like, I am a long form content girly. Like, one of my favorite booktubers, her videos are always two uh at least 2 hours long, and that's like my bread and butter right there. But I don't know, it's just hard. I feel like Book Talk is very, I don't want to like slander Book Talk because it has its merits and it has its good things, but it's just not for me, and I've not been successful with content on there. So um Liv says Emergency Skin by N.K. Jemisin is a climate fiction novella and it's fantastic. Also, The Ones Left Behind is a great climate fiction book too. I feel like I've heard of The Ones Left Behind. Hold on. Let me look on Goodreads. Yeah, I have discovered that I really like climate fiction. So thank you for the recommendations, Liv. The Ones Left Behind. The Ones We're Meant to Find. Oh, I've read The Ones We're Meant to Find. Yeah. I think I gave that 3 stars when I read it. The Ones We're Meant to Find is about sisters and climate change and technology, and that is a very intense book as well. But I read that when it first came out because the cover is absolutely stunning. One of my posts went viral, so I tried to catapult off that fame, but it was rage bait. I've heard of The Ones We're Meant to Find. It was one by the Asian author. Yes, it is by an Asian author. I can't remember the name right now, but the cover is like the prettiest cover ever. Even though it wasn't my favorite book, and I don't really recommend it like broadly to a lot of people. I'm gonna pull up the cover. Hold on. The Ones We're Meant. Joan He. Yeah. Look at that cover. That is like the prettiest cover ever. Yeah, I gave it 3 stars. I read it. When did I read this? I read it in 2021. I don't read a lot of sci-fi apocalyptic climate fiction because sometimes the world building is confusing to me. I get that, and that was actually, I just read my review of The Ones We're Meant to Find, and I said this book was a 5 star prediction for me, and sadly I was let down. This was my first sci-fi, and I found the scientific aspects of the book really took me out of the story and were not something I was interested in. I also felt like the point things got a little jumbled between the science talk and the characters' conflicting motivations. I was lost. The writing itself was beautiful, and I'm not mad that I read this. I will be reading more from this author. So I feel that, but I feel like with Charlotte McConaughey, hers are not super technological in terms of climate fiction. They're not super like, oh, well, we have all these new advancements and stuff. It's more of just like time has passed in our regular world and animals have gone extinct or the waters are rising or something like that. And I feel like that's kind of what she has done. So I'm going to finish this book up in this next sprint. Anya also said, I think the last book I read that constitutes as climate fiction is Flicker by H.E. Edgman, and it was middle grade. Yeah, I'm going to look that up too. Let me look. That's a cute cover for the Flickr. I think you would like Bone Shaker. It's zombies, but also historical fiction and not exactly climate fiction, but like environmental issues. Okay, interesting, Christy. Interesting. I'm interested. I'm adding these all to my Goodreads. Bone Shaker. Christy, is it this one? Let me know, Christy. If it's that one, let me know. And I will add it to my Goodreads. I also read Roar of the Lambs recently, which is why I know it's about two people who see a prophecy in the apocalypse and try to prevent it. That sounds cool. Okay. Yes, I will add that to my Goodreads then. That has a pretty decent reading on Goodreads. Okay. I'm going to do a 20-minute sprint, finish this freaking book, and then we can chat a little bit more. And you own 2 copies of that book. I love that. Okay. Let's do this. Let's finish this book up. Jake just said Bone Shaker's bad, Christy. I'm just letting you know. I don't know if you heard that, but Jake said Bone Shaker's dog shit. Hello, hello, hello. I have some Twilight comments. I finished Migrations. 4 stars. Very good. Really love the ending, which I was a little nervous about. And then I started reading Twilight, which the text in here is so big compared to this one. Hold on. This is like the text size of this one, and this is the text size of this one. Like, but I'm on page 9 of Twilight, and I have some comments. First, is this foreshadowing when they're talking about the truck? It was one of those solid iron affairs that never gets damaged, the kind you see at the scene of the accident, paint unscratched, surrounded by pieces of foreign car it had destroyed. But when Edward touches it, he dents that thing. So, like, was that foreshadowing to show how strong Mr. Edward is? And my second note is the desk now held a secondhand computer with the phone line for the modem stapled along the floor to the nearest phone jack. Wow. I am so glad they gave her a cell phone in the movie because, wow. Okay. Anyway, I read one chapter, The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. I feel like my brother has read that book, Liv. The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. Christy loves that book, apparently. I just am left out. Is that the one where the dog narrates it, or is that The Art of Racing in the Rain? I feel like that's The Art of Racing in the Rain. My front tooth is so sore. I don't know why. I brush my teeth every day, and it just stings really bad. Anyway, I read that book, but I don't think of it fondly because of how the autistic community has critiqued it. Interesting. Art of Racing in the Rain is the one Jake likes. Okay, I couldn't remember. I just knew it had to do with a dog, but we're going to read the back of Twilight real quick. About 3 things I was absolutely positive. First, Edward was a vampire. Second, there was a part of him, and I didn't know how dominant that part might be, that thirsted for my blood. And third, I was unconditionally and irrevocably in love with him. So trashy, so good. I love it. Anyway. Anyway, I'm going to put a bookmark in here, even though I'm only 9 pages in. Oh, sleepy. Liv said, is the rep not good? I've only just started. And Anya replied, is very stereotypical. I think there are better books by autistic authors out there. And Christy said, I thought it was okay for a specific type of autism, but some of the overstimulation stuff applies to all of us. Good conversations to be having, people. Good conversations. That can go over there now. Let's see how the new YouTube video's doing, y'all. Also, I forgot to say, guess what, y'all? Guess where Charlotte McConaughey's from? She is from Sydney, Australia, and lives there. She's an Australian author, and I literally was just saying I don't know any Australian authors. I love that. I love how stupid I am. I will keep that in mind as I read and review. Nice. Also, I like the cutout on the cover. LOL. I've never read Twilight, but maybe I should start it because I'm doing a series on my YouTube channel where I read YA books published at least a decade ago for the first time. It is so much fun, Anya. It is so cheesy, but it's so fun. And I'm like picturing the movie in my head as I'm reading it. So I know there's definitely differences. Like my mom is like a diehard for the books rather than the movies, but she still loves the movies. But I just thought that was funny. So I have 2 notifications on YouTube. I got a new subscriber. Shout out. Okay. Next, you have to read an author from the Maldives. Is it Maldives or Maldives? I've never seen the movies either. Oh my gosh. Anya, I do have to say, I don't know how you would like them because they are kind of a lot. That's the best way I can put it. But they're a lot of fun. And for me, it's a lot of nostalgia because I grew up with those movies, but I still think they're a fun time. I will say there is critiques on the way the indigenous representation is in this book, with Jacob and his tribe and everything, and living on the reservation and all that. And apparently, Stephanie Meyer like took a lot of direct inspiration from like a real life tribe. I can't remember the tribe's name. Um, but that's like the one critique I've heard of Twilight really big is that she basically like profited off of this tribe and like never said anything or gave them any money or anything like that. So just something to talk about. I don't think I'll like them because vampires aren't for me and I don't like trashy films. Oh, probably not for you. Never forget Edward's sleeveless white button. I love it. I love it so much. I love it so freaking much. I've heard that the werewolves are inspired by the I cannot pronounce that, but I believe in the movie they even say the tribe's name, and then like Bella Googles it and everything, and it like shows the names and everything, but it still was like she just kind of picked a tribe and just like took their took their information and stuff and their lore and their history and just like used it in the book and didn't talk to anybody about it. And I think that's a little shady. Gotta admit. I am probably gonna hop off of here because I've got some laundry to fold before I go to bed. And I gotta be up at like 7 for church. So I'm probably gonna hop off. We've been on here for 2 hours. Whoop whoop. Um, I agree, Anya, that it's weird when white authors don't do research on people they've chosen to represent. In my like even in my book that I'm writing, I have a character in a wheelchair. The father to my main male love interest is in a wheelchair, and I'm having sensitivity readers for that because I don't want to like word things wrong. Um and yeah, so like just things like that are just things you think about if you're a writer or choosing to represent something that you don't live and experience. Just my opinion. But of course, Liv, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. It's been fun. I've had a great time. Um, I've got 9 pages into this and I finished migrations. So that's awesome. The language that you use for disabled people is very important. So thank you, of course, wheelchair user representation. And thanks for hosting, of course. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you later. And bye.